Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today we have some absolute bombshell news for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, as well as the Call of Duty franchise going forward. So yesterday, in Activision's Q2 2022 earnings press release, they went ahead and started giving us a hint of what is going to be happening in the future. In here, they seem to imply that a brand new COD would be coming in 2023, despite the fact that everything we've learned about so far suggests that Modern Warfare 2, this year's game, is going to be a 2-year game, with the next Call of Duty title being Treyarch's game in 2024. Well, in that press release, they said, across the Call of Duty ecosystem, the teams are well positioned to support these launches with substantial live operations, while also continuing development of new premium content planned for 2023 and beyond. Now, if you've ever really paid attention to these Activision investor reports or their press releases, when they say premium content, that's like a paid game. Obviously, like usually premium content is a brand new Call of Duty title. So when we saw that, we're like, wait a minute, are we getting a new game in 2023? There were leaks and rumors suggesting that we are going to be getting some sort of weird free-to-play spin-off game, but we haven't really heard too much about that as of recently. But yeah, this news came out yesterday and everyone was just like, wait, is Modern Warfare 2 not going to be a 2-year game? Are they not confident enough in that game to have it be the only premium COD title for 2 years? Like, what is going on here? Well, then Jason Schreier came out. Now, Jason Schreier's been in the industry for a very long time. I first learned about him when he worked at Kotaku, but he's been everywhere since. One of the best, most reliable industry insiders out there. And he responds to this Charlie Intel tweet saying that for 2023, I'd expect new paid premium, quote-unquote, content for Modern Warfare 2. Not a brand new Call of Duty. Treyarch is leading the next mainline game, which was delayed to 2024, as Bloomberg reported earlier this year. So, the new premium content that we're going to be getting in 2023 is not going to be a new game. It's not going to be a spin-off or anything like that. It's going to be the return of paid DLC content in the Call of Duty franchise. Now, technically, we've still had that over the course of the past couple of years, but it's been cosmetic shop bundles, right? If we go back in time, Black Ops 4 was the last time this happened, we used to have to pay for maps. The Black Ops Pass, man, I made like a dozen videos or more on the Black Ops Pass and how, even at that time, the idea of a season pass and paid DLC maps was so archaic in the video games industry. Like, you pay $60 for a game, then $50 more just to get all the maps and all the content throughout the entire year. It wasn't a good system. It divided the player base. That's something that I think we forget a lot about. When you had all those different map packs and all these different like DLC add-ons, based on what you had installed on your system, you could only match up with other people that had that exact same content. So, you know, you could be super far into the game's life cycle, and you could be more of a Zombies fan, for example. And let's say there's 4 DLCs out, but you only have DLC 2 and DLC 3 installed. If you try searching up in multiplayer, you can only queue up and find other players who also randomly only have DLC 2 and DLC 3 installed without DLC 1 or DLC 4. Like, it divided the player base up a bunch and made matchmaking take a long time. Not that skill-based matchmaking is doing any better. Like, skill-based matchmaking already makes the time in between matches pretty ridiculous. Can you imagine if they split the player base up even more based on what DLC content you had installed? It's a bad system. Nobody wants it. No one is going to be happy about this. But I have to wonder, what is this new paid premium content going to be? We're talking about Modern Warfare here. I think a lot of people would be much more open to the idea of paying for Zombies content, because Zombies maps are big, they are elaborate, there's voice acting, there's, you know, script writing, there's like all sorts of stuff that goes into a Zombies map and Zombies content. And it's been a topic of conversation for a number of years now, the idea of a solo Zombies game where it's just all zombies, tons of maps, cohesive story, all together on one disc, paying for DLC and stuff like that. Like, people would probably do that. But when it comes to multiplayer content, I don't see that happening. Now, there is something to be said about the DMZ mode, which is going to be kind of like Escape from Tarkov, that is apparently going to be in Modern Warfare 2. I could do a whole video on the idea of DMZ, but in short, I'll say this. I'm worried about that game mode because it seems like they're putting a lot of time, effort, and resources into a game mode that is not necessarily what COD fans are used to. Like, COD fans like multiplayer, and they like Battle Royale. Now you're trying to implement this new game mode on top of things that already exist, like zombies and Spec Ops and things like that. And just like in a game like Modern Warfare 2019, just like in a game like Black Ops Cold War, I worry that the dev team is just going to be spreading themselves way too thin. And as a result, all of the different game modes within the game, you know, single player, multiplayer, DMZ, Warzone, Spec Ops, like all these things combined are just going to be spread so thin that they're going to feel like oceans with the depth of a paddling pool. You know what I mean? Now, it's entirely possible that DMZ is what they're talking about when they mention the idea of paid premium content coming to Modern Warfare 2 in 2023. And you may think, well, 2023 is a ways away. Not really. I mean, 2023 technically is 2 months after the release of Modern Warfare 2. So right there in January, you know, they could start releasing this paid premium content. And are fans going to deal with it? They're already increasing the price of the game. Right, we're already talking about like $70, $80 for this game, and now they're talking about bringing back paid DLC on top of all the ridiculous shit that we see in the shop, which in theory, like in my own head, I'm like, well, no one seems to like that. Like, no one's ever excited when it comes to, you know, all the shop content, things like that. Well, check out this tweet right here. We can actually see that Activision's monthly active users, these are people that sign in and play the game on a consistent basis, it goes down and down and down ever since the launch of Call of Duty Vanguard. But check this out. Even with a loss of 6 million monthly active users between Q1 2022 and Q2 2022, that's a 3-month span, they lost 6 million active players in that time, Activision's income went up by 50 million. How does that make sense, man? You lose 6 million dedicated active players, but then you make 50 more million than you were previously? How does that make sense? And I can tell you how it makes sense. Have you seen the shit they're putting in the shop lately? It's pretty ridiculous. It's pretty crazy. Can you earn it? No. Can you buy it? Yes. So that answers your question right there, man. It answers my question. It answers the question of everyone. Like, in my head, it's like, why are people wanting to just pay money for content when they could earn the content with a fundamental shift within the, you know, the mindset of Activision and how the different Call of Duty studios go about things? But it's just too easy for them, man. It just is. Like, release a game, give it subpar content, give it just enough updates to make it seem like you care, and then put a bunch of cool shit in the shop for $20 a piece. Ah, man, they're killing it, man. It's a license to print money is what they've got right here. And it's because people buy it. And I'm not here to just, you know, shit on people that buy it. I mean, I don't do it personally. You know, we're all adults here. You're free to do with your money what you want, but it still does suck that we find ourselves in this perpetual situation where the stuff in the core base game not only is not very fun to unlock, but it's super grindy and annoying. And also, once you finally get it, it's very underwhelming and drab compared to the stuff that you can pay for. And then even at that, some of the times it doesn't even work to this day. I'm sorry for hitting my desk. I gotta stop doing that in videos. But to this day, Black Ops Cold War's Dark Matter camo, DM Ultra, doesn't work on a bunch of the guns. The biggest, like, most prestigious camo in the game, the biggest thing you can do in multiplayer, doesn't even work, man. Doesn't even work. Meanwhile, that shit in the shop, oh, it works great. So, yeah, that's where we're at right now. And I guess from a business perspective, when you think about like what Activision and what Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, Raven, Phoenix, Toys for Bob, all these different studios want to do and what their priorities are going to be, this is it. They are a business at the end of the day. It used to be back in the day, you would have different companies like Blizzard, for example, saying buy gamers for gamers, the game will be out when it's ready and things like that. All that stuff has just gone out the window in recent years. They will push out the game because they have a deadline, regardless of whether or not it's ready, and they're going to see how much money they can make with as little effort as possible. It's a business at the end of the day. That's what video games are. And there is some passion still left in the franchise from the people that make the games. But at the same time, we find ourselves in a situation where we're paying $80 just to get the game to begin with. And now more paid premium content could be coming as well. Right after we get done with 3 straight years of free DLC content that admittedly wasn't as good as when we were paying for it. Yeah, you can see why COD fans are not exactly going to welcome this news with open arms. But as always, guys, I will keep you posted as we learn more and as this story develops. Yeah, definitely a lot to unpack here, and I'm definitely interested to read what you guys have to say down there in the comments. Thank you guys all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.